Energy never lies, it only shows what words try to cover up. Let that sit in your heart for a moment, because today we're pulling apart one of the most beautiful lies you've ever been told, that you have to ask a man how he feels to understand where you stand. No, you don't have to ask, you just have to watch. Tap that like button, hit subscribe, and don't do it just for me, do it for you. I'm not here to waste your time. I'm speaking truth into this mic like it's all I've got, and if you've ever felt lost in his mixed messages, tired of replaying his words in your mind, asking yourself if you're overthinking things, you are not crazy. You're intuitive. You're sensing something real. So let's bring to light what your soul already knows deep down. Picture this. You're sitting in a quiet cafe. He's across from you, telling a story, laughing, nodding, showing all the right emotions. But your eyes fall to his hand, resting near yours. And then, without even thinking, he reaches out and gently brushes a crumb off your cheek. He doesn't plan it, he just does it. That's the truth right there. Not in the story he's telling, not in his smile, but in the little moment he wasn't even aware of. The unconscious doesn't rehearse. It doesn't try to impress. It simply flows through his hands, in that small pause before pulling away, in the way his body leans toward you without knowing why. That's where the truth is, not in the texts, not in the sweet compliments, not even in the I miss you. It's in the way he naturally responds to your presence, because a man's real feelings don't show when he's trying to impress you. They show when he forgets he's being watched. That's when his hands speak for him. That's when his body tells the story. Let's be honest. Some of you have been listening too hard to his words, while ignoring what's right in front of you. He says he's busy, but still watches your Instagram story at 1 a.m. He says, "We're just friends," but his hand stays on your back a bit too long. Or maybe he says, "I'm not ready for a relationship," but brings you soup when you're sick and rubs your feet like you already belong to him. So which will you believe, his mouth or his movements? Carl Jung said, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate." That includes love too. You've been trying to figure him out using logic, but love doesn't speak logic. It speaks in energy, in instinct, in feeling. So don't run after words. Don't waste time analyzing his emojis and punctuation. Watch his hands. Watch how he holds the door for you. Watch how he places your coffee just right. Watch how he moves through your softness like it's something precious. Because when a man is truly drawn to you, he doesn't just say it. He moves differently. He feels different. And once you learn to read that, everything changes. That's when you stop asking. That's when you know. So right now, I want you to write this in the comments. I'm not asking. I'm saying it with all I've got. Energy reveals everything. Say it loud. Type it like you mean it. Let it be a part of your story. Because once you stop needing words to feel seen, once you stop overthinking and begin observing, you become unforgettable. You become undeniable. Hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in, because what's coming next might shift how you see every man from now on. Stay right here. The unconscious can't hide its hands. The body doesn't lie. It's the mouth that covers things up. Let that sink in for a moment, because so many of you have been taught to search for truth in his polished words, in his compliments, in the voice that knows what to say. But the real story? It lives in what he does without thinking. It lives in the unconscious. And that part doesn't lie. It shows through his breath, his tone, and most of all, through how he touches things, how he touches you. Picture this. You're walking next to each other. A small crowd forms around you. Nothing dramatic, just people and noise. And then, without a word, his hand rests on the small of your back. Not grabbing, not pulling, just there. Gentle, steady, guiding. You didn't ask him to, he didn't think about it, but his body leaned toward you. That wasn't about charm, that was about care, that was about presence, and that was real. Now I know some of you are thinking, what if he's just being polite? What if he treats everyone that way? What if I'm imagining it? Again, listen closely. The moment you start talking yourself out of what your body already noticed, that's the moment your intuition is being trained out of you. Let's look at this clearly. When a man talks, he's choosing, he's thinking, filtering, adjusting, but when he moves, that's instinct. That's years of behavior patterns coming to the surface. It's seen in how he touches your waist when you walk into a room, how his fingers pause on yours when handing you a drink. These aren't small signals. These are quiet truths, unedited messages from deep inside. Jung once said, the unconscious is like a shadow. It shows up in every moment, follows us, tells on us. So when a man reaches for you, not to show off, not to perform, but because it's the most natural thing for him to do, that isn't random. That's the language of emotion before it becomes words. And yet, you've been trained to only trust words, to wait for the I miss you, the I've been thinking about you, the I love you. But what if I told you he already said it, in how he touched your arm and didn't rush away, in the silence before letting go of your hand, in how he stands close enough that you can feel him, but not so close that it overwhelms. Real attraction doesn't shout. It doesn't make big announcements. It whispers, it moves quietly, and those little gestures you keep second guessing, they might be the most honest things he's ever shown you. So stop asking his mouth to explain what his body already revealed. Remember this, presence doesn't fake it. If that woke something in you, type it in the comments right now, let it echo in your heart. Because the moment you begin trusting what your soul already sees, you move from wondering to knowing. You don't need to play detective, just open your eyes. Because once you learn to read instinct, you'll notice the hand that pauses, the body that leans, the movement that wasn't for the glass, it was for you. What we're about to uncover next, it might change everything. There's one gesture that means even more than I love you. Anyone can say I love you, but very few know how to show it without saying a word. Let that really land. Most people don't run out of words, they run out of meaning. They throw around I love you like loose coins, hoping it buys them more time, more attention, a second chance. But those who really care, they don't just say it, they move like it. Let's take it slow. He says he cares, but when you reach for your coat, does he toss it from across the room? Or does he come to you, lift it gently, place it around your shoulders, fixing it just right so the wind doesn't touch your neck? That's not a line from a romance movie. That's a man speaking without words. That's presence. That's care. Because love doesn't always show up in grand actions or poetic texts. Sometimes it's in the small things. In how he stirs your tea and remembers how you like it. In how he opens a door, not because you need him to, but because he wants to show respect. That's not being soft. That's being aware. And still, too many of you dismiss these moments, brush them off, thinking, he's just being polite. No, he's not just nice. He's being thoughtful. In a world full of men who only show up when they want something, the one who shows up with quiet consistency, that's rare. That's real. Jung once said, you are what you do, not what you say you'll do. So if his words say, I care, but his actions are rushed or cold, something's missing. But if his hands are calm, his touch is careful, his gestures show quiet love, then you're not just hearing it, you're feeling something sacred. That kind of man doesn't try to impress the world, he's focused on the moment he's in with you. So type this in the comments, reverence is louder than romance. Say it with feeling. Because once you start seeing how he moves in the small quiet moments, you'll stop falling for empty promises. Now stay close, we're going deeper. When tension hits, when emotions rise, when things don't go perfectly, that's when the real man shows up or walks away. And that will tell you everything he's not even looking at you. but his body, it's still with you. That moment, that's not weakness. That's love showing up even through ego. Because here's what no one really says. Anyone can hold your hand when everything feels calm, when the mood is sweet, when the lights are soft, and nothing's wrong. But the man who can still reach for you when you're upset with him, that's a man who values closeness more than control. That's someone who hears his nerves shouting, but chooses to stay anyway. You see, Jung once said the shadow is everything you don't want to see in yourself, and during conflict, that shadow walks in, loud, uninvited, raw. So how does he deal with it? Does he tighten his fists, slam doors, vanish for 3 days, or does he stay? Maybe not perfectly, maybe not quietly, but he stays. His hands stay open, his eyes stay locked on yours, and he takes a moment before speaking. That right there is emotional strength. And I get the fear, but what if I reach for that hand and he walks away later? What if I read it wrong? You won't, because true connection, you feel it. It doesn't come wrapped in perfection, it shows up in how often it stays. So stop chasing the kind of love that never shakes. Start seeing the kind that may tremble but doesn't let go. Put this in the comments if you've ever felt tension and truth show up at the same time. Presence over pride. Say it like you mean it. Own it like something life taught you, because that's what grown-up love does. It doesn't run from the fire, it walks through it with you. And what's coming might make you rethink every silent moment you've ever shared with him, because the next gesture we're about to explore doesn't use words. It settles into the quiet. Stay here, the fingertips that remember you. Real connection leaves fingerprints, not just on your heart, but your skin. And the body remembers, even when the mind drifts. This part is for the women who've wondered, does my presence still stay with him, even when I'm silent? Is he with me or just beside me? The deepest kind of closeness doesn't need words to stay alive. It flows through stillness. It speaks without sound. It whispers through touch. Imagine this. You're on the couch, the TV's on, some documentary is playing, he's half paying attention. You're not saying anything. You're not even touching. Yet. And then, like a quiet instinct, his hand reaches over and finds yours. His thumb slowly traces circles on your knuckle. Not rushed. Not focused. Just there. That's not a move. That's not him trying to impress you. That's his nervous system remembering you. When a man is truly connected to more than just your body, when he's connected to your energy, your soul, his hands move differently. They search for calm, not excitement. They touch for grounding, not games. You've become his peace, his rhythm, his way to slow down in a world that's always moving fast. And I know what some of you are thinking. What if it's just a habit? What if he's not even aware of it? Exactly. That's the whole point. The unconscious doesn't plan, it repeats. It clings to what brings it safety. And that safety shows up through the body. So if his hands still look for you when nothing's being said, if his fingers dance with yours in the silence, if his touch turns into a quiet rhythm, that's not just routine, that's memory. Jung once said that when two personalities meet, if there's a spark, both are changed. That's what's happening when his body still reaches for you in the quiet. You've changed something in him. And now his body remembers, like breathing. So here's something for you to write and repeat like you believe it. I am unforgettable energy. Because you are not just a woman to him, you are rhythm, you are memory, you are something that soothes. He might not always say it, he might not always know how to explain it, but when his hand moves across your skin without thinking, that's his soul quietly saying, you're still here. Now we step into something deeper. The part of love that remembers you and also protects you. Stay with me, the protector's signal. A man's true feelings don't always come with big words. Sometimes they come with small shields. Love doesn't always show up with sparks. Sometimes it arrives as a quiet shift in how he walks beside you. A soft hand on your back when the crowd feels too close. a quick scan of the room before he chooses a seat. That's the protector signal, the kind of gesture that speaks loud without needing to say a word. Picture this. You're walking together through a crowded street. People everywhere. Car horns, voices, movement all around. He's not talking much. Then, out of nowhere, his hand gently finds your lower back. Not pushing, not holding, just there. Steady, light and strong. He's not trying to show off. He's not trying to prove something. His body is just naturally adjusting, placing itself between you and the world. That's not a trick. That's not about owning you. That's his deep instinct speaking up. That's I've got you without saying it out loud. We've been fed this idea that romance is all about flowers, long messages, and big public moments. But real love from a man, true protective love, it's softer, it's steady, and it shows up when nobody's watching. This isn't about controlling you. It's not about being in charge. It's about knowing where you are and making sure you feel safe. When a man protects you in quiet, steady ways, without being asked, that's not him trying to dominate. That's him caring. That's the guardian inside him, the part that's wired to protect what matters. And maybe there's still a little voice asking, but what if he does that for everyone? What if it's nothing? Listen to me. Energy doesn't lie. You can feel the difference. You know when that touch is automatic, when it's tied to his awareness of you. When he reaches out, not to impress, but to connect. That's not just habit. That's meaning. That's recognition. He's recognizing who you are to him and how deeply he wants to keep you safe. So the next time he gently moves you away from the busy edge of the road, the next time his hand touches your back before crossing a street, don't brush it off. Don't question it. Let yourself feel it. That's him saying with his body, you matter to me. I'm here. I see you. Say this to yourself. Write it in the comments. Hold it close. I'm worth protecting. Speak it out loud. Keep it in your chest, like a promise. Because the woman who believes she's worthy of that kind of care, she attracts the man who doesn't just love her, he protects her, even when she doesn't realize she needs it. Now we slow down again, into a silence that doesn't pull you apart, but brings you closer. Because when a man listens with his hands, you'll feel more heard than 1,000 conversations. Stay with me. When his hands build for you, stop watching his money. Watch what he does with his hands. Because love doesn't always buy gifts. Sometimes love fixes a loose screw. That's the truth. In a world where everything is about luxury and showing off, we've been trained to believe that love comes with big spending. But real love, the kind that lasts through seasons and struggles, it builds. It creates. Bit by bit. One task. One small effort at a time. Imagine this. You casually mention your shelf is loose. You don't make a big deal out of it. You even say, it's fine, I'll get someone. But the next day, there he is. With tools. Not showing off, not filming it, just working. He kneels down, tightens the screws, checks every part. He's quiet, focused. But everything he's doing is saying, you live here, you matter here, let me fix this for you. That's not just fixing furniture, that's building safety, that's creating peace. Jung once said that creating something new isn't about the mind, it's about the play instinct, the part of you that needs to act. So when a man builds something for you, not for attention, not for praise, but because he wants to, that's his soul choosing you. He may not write poetry, he may not say I love you every single night, but when he puts effort into your world, when he makes something easier for you, when he adds to your comfort, that's love showing up with a solid backbone. And maybe you're wondering, but what if he just likes fixing things? Maybe he'd do this for anyone. Sure, maybe he's handy, but when it's personal, when it's your chair, your shelf, your space, when he notices without you asking, that's devotion, not habit. Love doesn't always knock loud. Sometimes it walks in quietly, adjusts the light bulb and fixes the thing you stopped noticing. He doesn't wait for claps. The real ones don't perform. They provide. Say this clearly and type it in the comments like it's your truth. I attract action, not performance. Because you don't need a man who just talks. You deserve the one who moves with purpose, for you. Not because you demand it, but because love naturally flows through his hands. And next, next we drop back into stillness. But this time we listen for what's not being said. Because it's not always the kiss that stays with you. It's the space right after. When the air still remembers him. Picture this. You're saying goodbye. Maybe it's just a quick hug, but something about it lingers. Why? Because he didn't just hug and let go. He paused. Just long enough. His hand didn't fall away instantly. His fingers gently brushed your arm as he pulled back slowly, like time itself slowed down for a second, and your body noticed. Your soul remembered it. That moment right there, that's the space between touches, the invisible mark he leaves on your nervous system. It's not only about physical contact. It's about the charge it carries, the memory it creates. Jung once spoke of the collective unconscious, a place where symbols and sensations speak louder than words. And in romance, that space between touches becomes one of those symbols. It's a kind of language your spirit understands before your mind can explain it. And maybe you're thinking, what if I just imagined it? What if it didn't really mean anything? But let me say this clearly. If you felt it, then it mattered. Energy doesn't pretend. If his touch made your breath stop for a moment, made your heart skip, made your mind go still, then something passed between you in that silence. And it wasn't fake. It wasn't for show. It was presence. Because a man who feels drawn to you doesn't touch you like he's completing a task. He touches you like he's still trying to memorize the shape of your energy. He lingers. He notices. He lets time stretch just enough so that you still feel him even after he's gone. Write this down in the comments like it's yours. I am unforgettable in stillness. Say it. Believe it. Because when you carry that kind of knowing, you stop chasing love. You become the quiet moment he keeps replaying in his head when the world feels loud. And now let's go deeper, because the most powerful gesture isn't even about touch. It's about how silence changes the air between you. Stay with me. When a man's gesture transforms you, it goes beyond skin. It reaches the soul. That's the truth no one ever taught us. We've been sold the idea that love should feel like fireworks, butterflies, and heart-racing moments. But let me tell you something solid. The right man, the grown man, he won't leave you spinning, he'll leave you grounded. The most meaningful gesture isn't the one that excites you, it's the one that calms you. Picture this. You've had a rough day. Everything feels off. You don't even have the words for it. You're distant, quieter than usual. And instead of flooding you with questions, instead of trying to fix anything, he simply reaches over and takes your hand. No words, no pressure, just quiet presence. And suddenly, your shoulders drop, your breath deepens, not because he had all the answers, but because he gave you something better, a safe place. That's a gesture that changes you. Not because it overwhelms you, but because it brings you back to yourself. Your nervous system eases, your heart breathes, you feel held, not controlled. A man can touch you 1,000 times and never truly reach you. But one gesture, when it's honest, when it's real, can plant something deep in you that no one else ever touched. He's not just holding your hand. He's holding your peace. Carl Jung said, your vision becomes clear only when you look inside your heart. Whoever looks outside is dreaming. Whoever looks inside awakens. And when a man's gesture quiets your thoughts and sharpens your heart, that's not just love, it's alignment. That's not just connection, that's a reflection. A mirror showing you who you are when you feel safe. And maybe this kind of stillness feels new to you. Maybe it feels strange. That's a good sign. It means it's different. It means it's real. Because true love doesn't raise your anxiety, it softens it. So write this in the comments like you mean it. I choose peace over chaos. Because starting now, you're not chasing love that burns too fast. You're choosing energy that stays, that steadies you, that brings you home to yourself. And if this part reached you, if your chest softened just hearing it, press that like button, hit subscribe, and stay close. Because when love stops trying to impress and starts showing up in silence, that's when you know you're not just being touched, you're being kept. And here's something true. If you've stayed with me this long, you already know. This wasn't just about touch, it was about presence, about energy, about a kind of love that doesn't just brush against your skin, it moves through your spirit. So next time you're wondering how he really feels, don't listen harder, watch closer, because his gestures will tell you what words come. If this opened something in you, or helped you feel seen, press that like button, hit subscribe, and send this to a woman who needs this kind of love. Because we're not here for surface feelings, we're here for soul-level truth. Stay rooted, stay glowing,